Hello and welcome to this session on Introduction to Development and Principles of Development. In the beginning, let me ask a simple question: why should a teacher study growth and development? The answer to this question is that a teacher has to deal with children of different socio-economic and cultural backgrounds who have a wide variety of individual differences among themselves at different age levels. The teacher, as an agent of society, is responsible to bring desirable changes in the behavior of children, so that they may shoulder the responsibilities of a good citizen to accelerate the process of national development. The other reason to study development is its continuity from the past to the present, and present can be understood in terms of its past history. Prior to joining school, a child accumulates enormous experiences in his home and neighborhood environment, which are very useful to start formal education in an effective way. Individual differences among children play an important role in education. The teacher must know the potentialities and capacities of each and every child of his class, so that he may exploit them to the maximum for the benefit of the individual and the society. The teacher must know the basic principles of growth and development and the characteristics which emerge at different age levels in various developmental dimensions to provide effective guidance for the harmonious development of children. Growth and development. What is growth and development? Growth and development have been interchangeably used by most of the developmental psychologists, because both the processes are interrelated and interdependent on each other. The processes by which a germinating seed or conceived organism is turned into a mature plant or full-fledged being are collectively called growth and development. It is difficult to differentiate the contribution of either of them in the development of the personality of an individual. Growth refers to increase in bodily dimensions, height and weight, and it is generally confined to quantitative changes. Arnold Gesell, an American child psychologist, wrote, "Growth is a function of the organism rather than of the environment as such. The environment furnishes the soil and the milieu for the manifestations of development, but these manifestations come from inner compulsion and are primarily organized by inherent inner mechanics and by an intrinsic physiology of development." Growth is a process so intricate and so sensitive. That means there must be powerful stabilizing factors, intrinsic rather than extrinsic, which preserve the balance of the total pattern and direction of the growth trend. Maturation is, in a sense, a name for this regulatory mechanism. Development refers to qualitative and quantitative changes. Harlock defines development as a progressive series of orderly, coherent changes. Progressive signifies that the changes are directional, that they lead forward rather than backward. Orderly and coherent suggests that there is a definite relationship between the changes taking place and those that preceded or will follow them. Development can be defined as the emergence and expansion of capacities of the individual to provide greater facility in functioning, such as development of motor ability from uncertain steps to proficiency in games. Development, as a matter of fact, is achieved through growth. Development refers to interactions of a person and his environmental surroundings whose after products alter existing response tendencies in such a way as to increase their strength, the degree of differentiation and the organization of personality. Differences between growth and development. Even though the terms growth and development are used interchangeably, there are specific differences between them. They are: growth refers to physiological changes, whereas development refers to overall changes in the individual. It involves changes in an orderly and coherent type towards the goal of maturity. Changes in the quantitative respect is termed as growth, while development changes in the quality along with quantitative aspect. Growth does not continue throughout life. where development continues throughout life. Growth stops after maturation, then development is progressive. Growth occurs due to the multiplication of cells. Development occurs due to both maturation and interaction with the environment. Growth is cellular, whereas development is organizational. Growth is one of the part of the developmental process, whereas development is a wider and comprehensive term. Growth may be referred to describe the changes in particular aspect of the body and behavior of the organism. Development describes the changes in the organism as a whole. The changes produced by growth are quantified and observable in nature, where development brings qualitative changes which are difficult to measure directly. Growth may or may not bring development. Development is possible, but without growth. In brief, development is confined to qualitative changes in the organism. The process of development has been explained from different points of view. Some of them are given below. Development as maturation. According to the famous child psychologist Arnold Gesell, the role of physical changes is important in development. The development from infancy to adolescence is governed by physical changes that are mapped out in the individual's genes. For instance, a growing nervous system changes systematically and automatically, and this results in predictable changes in bones and muscles. He used the word maturation to describe growth processes that are governed by such automatic, genetically determined signals. He believed that most major changes in the organism are based on maturation. According to him, there is internal programming toward physical and cognitive growth, and each year is characterized by certain behavioral changes. Development as learning. Baer has defined development as behavior change which requires programming, and programming requires time, but not enough of it to call it age. Programming refers to sequences of learning which may happen naturally or may be arranged in the life of an individual. Development in this view is a collection of learning experiences which the child acquires in the process of interaction with his environment. Development is synthesis. Some psychologists reject the maturation and learning views of development. Both approaches treat the development as a passive process. The individual is a passive recipient. Piaget says, for some psychologists, development is reduced to a series of specific learned items, and development is thus the sum of this series of specific items. In reality, development is the essential process, and each element of learning occurs as a function of total development rather than being an element which explains development. According to Piaget, there are 4 basic elements in development which are maturation, experience, social transmission, that is learning through language, schooling or training by parents, and equilibration. Principles of growth and development. How can we assess the progress of growth and development of a child? Human development is governed by certain principles. Knowledge of the principles of growth and development helps us to understand children better. A person who knows these principles will be able to assess children's development objectively. We can discuss each principle in detail. The first principle is that development is continuous. Development is a continuous process from the time of conception to death. It may slow down or speed up at certain times, but it never stops completely at any time. For example, physical development is rapid during infancy and adolescent period, but slows down during childhood period. The second principle is that different areas develop at different rates. As children grow, each area of development proceeds at its own rate and reach maturity in its own time period. For example, the heart, liver and digestive organs grow slowly in childhood, but rapidly during the early years of adolescence. The third principle is that there are individual differences in development. As each child has his own characteristic rate of development, we cannot expect the same behavior from all children of the same age. For example, some children may grow up to 6 feet tall, while others might stop at 5 feet or in between. The fourth principle is development is sequential. Development follows an orderly sequence which in general is the same for most children. Each stage of development leads to the next. There are two basic sequences. First, development proceeds from head to toe. It is known as the cephalocaudal sequence. For example, child first controls his head, then his trunk for turning body and later his legs for standing. This order of development never changes. Secondly, development proceeds from center of the body towards outside. This is known as the proximodistal tendency. Here, the child catches a ball first with both his arms, then with palms and later with his fingers. The fifth principle is that development proceeds from general to specific responses. The early responses of the infant are very general in nature, and as age increases they become more specific. For example, in early stages of language development, the child uses the word toy before he learns to call each toy by name. The next principle is development is influenced by both heredity and environment. Heredity plays an important part in a child's development. This is evident as many characteristics such as color of eyes, facial features, etc. are passed through the genes from the parent to their children. Environmental factors such as nutrition, motivation, good role model, etc. play an important role in the development of child. A child who is not given opportunities to interact with others generally turns out to be shy and introvert. The seventh principle is that development is due to maturation. No development can take place unless the child's body is strong and able to support the concerned muscles. For example, a child can hold his head only after neck muscles are strong enough to hold it. The eighth principle of development is that development is predictable. Because the rate of development for each child is fairly constant, we can predict the rate of development to some extent. For example, children of tall parents are generally tall. The next principle is that many forms of so-called problem behavior are normal behavior of the age in which they occur. Each developmental age has certain undesirable forms of behavior which are normally found at the age and are outgrown as the child passes on to the next stage of development. For example, bedwetting during the first year of life is normal, but it can become a problem behavior during early childhood. The 10th principle is that development involves changes. Major developmental changes include change in size, change in proportion, disappearance of old features and acquisition of new features. Change in size. Each year as child grows, his or her height and weight changes. Change in proportion. As the child grows in size, changes in proportion also occur. For example, at birth, head occupies 1/4 of the body length. This proportion changes, and in adulthood, the head occupies 1/8 of the body length. Disappearance of old features. Old features disappear or get modified as the child grows. Disappearance of baby hair and baby teeth are a few examples. Acquisition of new features. Among the physical features, getting permanent teeth, appearance of primary and secondary sex characteristics are all new features acquired in the process of growth. In short, principles of development helps us to prepare children ahead of time for the changes that are going to take place in their life. In other words, proper child guidance is possible only with the knowledge of principles of growth and development. Stages of development. Stages of development are broadly divided into prenatal and postnatal periods. Prenatal period. It is customary for laymen to think of pregnancy in terms of 9 calendar months. but scientists use as their measuring rod lunar months of 28 days each. These coincide with the periods of the female menstrual cycle. The 10 lunar months of the prenatal period may be marked off into 3 subdivisions. They are the periods of ovum, the period of embryo and the period of fetus. The highlights of each of these developmental periods are given below. Period of ovum, it is from conception to the end of the second week. Important features of this period are: the ovum is practically unchanged in size because of the lack of outside sources of nourishment. Rapid internal development and implantation in the uterine wall about 10 days after fertilization, becoming a parasite. Period of embryo, this period begins in the end of the second week to the end of the second lunar month. In the second stage of prenatal development, all important external and internal features start to develop and function. Sex organs develop well enough to distinguish the sex of the embryo. By the end of the period, embryo measures 1.5 to 2 inches in length and weighs about 28.350 grams. Growth in the head region is proportionately much greater than the rest of the body, and accessory apparatus, placenta, umbilical cord and amniotic sac develops. Period of fetus, from the end of the second lunar month to birth. In the fetal period, external and internal features continue to grow and develop. Internal organs assume nearly adult positions by the 5th lunar month. The nerve cells present since the third week increase rapidly in number during the second, third and fourth months, and fetal activity begins in the second and third months. Postnatal period. Now, let us move to discuss the period of postnatal development. The postnatal period is a period beginning immediately after the birth of a child. The postnatal stage, which serves as a framework to study the growing child, is described by different psychologists in different ways. Infancy. Infancy is a period from 0 to 2 years. The child undergoes physical growth at a rapid rate greater than he will never experience subsequently. It is interesting to know the changes that take place in the first 2 years. Children at this stage are very active learners. During this period, the baby's physiological processes become operative and fairly well adjusted. Childhood. Childhood is a period from 3 years to 12 years. It can be divided into 2 substages, that is early childhood and late childhood. Early childhood. The early childhood years, that is 3 to 6 years of age, represent a remarkable period of physical and psychological developments. It is a period when true personality begins, but physical development proceeds at a slower rate. Here, children become more self-sufficient, acquire language, become a part of the group, become more coordinated and obtain a higher degree of self-control. Late childhood. The stage of late childhood starts from the 7th year and goes on till the 12th year. You have already gone through this period. Can you list some of the characteristics of this period? During this period, physical growth continues at a lower rate, but intellectual and emotional developments are rapid and very complex as he moves from home to the outside world. He begins to acquire basic skills of formal learning and develops certain social activities. End of late childhood is also referred to as pre-adolescence period. During the greater part of late childhood, the child is more attached to his peer groups and interested in social and group activities. The next stage is adolescence. You know some of the characteristic features of adolescent period since you have covered this period. Adolescent period follows late childhood and extends from the age of 13 to 19. During this time, physical, mental, emotional and social developments are complete. It is considered as the last step in the long period of development which begins at the time of conception. By the end of adolescence, the individual is considered legally and socially matured. He is capable of living in an independent life free from supervision and guidance. The next stage is adulthood. It is the longest period of the lifespan. An individual assumes adulthood at the age from 20 to 60 years. During this stage, physical developments are fairly complete, but psychological adjustments continue throughout the entire stage. Choosing a life partner, establishing a family, becoming a useful and productive member, etc., are crucial during adulthood. The next stage is old age. Old age is considered as the final stage of the normal lifespan. During this period, many physical, social, emotional and behavioral changes take place. These aging years demand higher degree of emotional adjustments. There are certain problems of adjustment such as physical and economic dependency, establishing new contacts and interests and activities to occupy increased leisure time. Psychological hazards during this stage include feeling of inferiority and inadequacy resulting from physical changes in life patterns, feeling of guilt about sitting idle and reduced income that makes changes in living patterns. Financial worries and ill health are common among this group. Areas of development. Human development constitutes the development of different areas such as physical, motor, language and speech, emotional, social and cognitive developments. By the time the child reaches adulthood, the development of these major areas will be completed. Physical development. Physical development means changes in height and weight and associated changes in size and shape of the body. Physical development influences child's behavior directly by determining what they can do and indirectly by influencing their attitudes towards self and others. Motor development. Motor development means the development of control over bodily movements through the coordinated activity of the nerve centers, the nerves and the muscles. Motor development is partially responsible for overcoming the helplessness of newborn infants. Language and speech development. The thoughts and feelings can be communicated in any form of language, that is gestures, emotional expressions, speech or written language, but it is most commonly and most effectively done by speech. Speech development is the ability to use meaningful words and to understand the meaning of words used by others. Emotional development. Emotional development can be defined as the ability to express, control, understand and accept one's emotions. All emotions play an important role in children's lives through the influence they have on children's personal and social adjustments. Social development. Social development means the acquisition of the ability to behave in accordance with social expectations. The change of children into social, non-social or antisocial persons depends mainly on learning, not on heredity. Cognitive or intellectual development. Cognitive development is the sum total of sensation, perception and cognition. Sensation means sensing something through sense organs. Perception gives additional meaning to sensing. Cognition is the process of thinking and knowing. The intellectual or cognitive development helps a person to memorize, imagine, communicate, perceive and to solve problems. Factors affecting growth and development. The factors which affect growth and development can broadly be divided into heredity and environment. We know that we resemble our parents or grandparents in most of the features like color of the skin, hair, shape of the nose, eyes, etc. Can you identify the reason? Heredity is a biological process through which the transmission of physical and social characteristics takes place from parents to offsprings. It greatly influences the different aspects of growth and development, that is height, weight and structure of the body, color of the hair and eye, intelligence and aptitude. In short, it is the sum total of all the traits present in an individual at the time of birth. The genes in the chromosomes of the mature sperm cell and the mature ovum carry potential for physical and mental traits. The carrier of genetic determination is chromosome. Your mother may advise you to have good friends. It is undoubtedly true that your friends have an influence on you in developing good or bad qualities. Can you list some other factors that have an influence on you? Environment refers to all the factors except heredity affecting an organism starting from the moment of conception. Individual's environment consists of the sum total of the stimulations, physical and psychological, which he receives from his conception onwards. The different types of environment are physical, social and psychological. Physical environment consists of all outer factors such as food, clothing, shelter, weather and climate. Social environment is constituted by the society that includes individuals and institutions and social laws and customs by which human behavior is regulated. Psychological environment is rooted in the individual's reaction with an object. One's love, affection and fellow feeling attitude will strengthen human bonds. Influence of heredity and environment on human development. Every aspect of development is influenced by both heredity and environment. Environment affects a child's personality in many ways. A child absorbs a lot from his parents, home, surroundings, school, friends and the neighborhood. Many traits which are important to personal adjustment may be changed by variations in environment. Heredity provides the raw materials from which a person is made. How he is molded and what he becomes depend chiefly on environment. Heredity and environment appears to be of co-acting influence, both are essential for development. The color of a child's hair and eyes, his physique and strength are inherited, but these are also influenced by climate, diet and disease. Every human being is born with certain muscular and skeletal structures. It is shaped and molded by learning and experiences. Many activities like writing, throwing a ball, spelling a word, etc. are influenced by heredity and environment. Can you list some other examples to show the influence of both heredity and environment on your development? Now, you know that heredity and environment are the two broad factors affecting the growth and development of child. Can you list some specific factors that help you grow and develop? Let me summarize the session. Growth refers to quantitative increase in size and structure of the body, whereas development refers to qualitative and quantitative changes. Human development is governed by certain principles. Knowledge of the principles of growth and development helps us to understand children better. There are a lot of stages in the lifespan of an individual. The prenatal stage is the period from conception till birth. This period is divided into three substages. They are the period of ovum, period of embryo and the period of fetus. The postnatal life begins at birth and ends at death. The phases of postnatal period are infancy, early and late childhood, adolescence, adulthood and old age. Infancy is the period from 0 to 2 years. The early childhood period is between 3 to 6 years, which is a remarkable period of physical and psychological developments. The stage of late childhood starts from the 7th year and goes on till the 12th year. Adolescent period follows late childhood and extends from the age of 13 to 19. Adulthood is the longest period of the lifespan, ranging from 20 to 60 years. Old age is considered as the final stage of the normal lifespan, usually begin at the age of 60. Human development constitutes the development of different areas such as physical, motor, language and speech, emotional, social and cognitive developments. Heredity is a biological process through which the transmission of physical and social characteristics takes place from parents to offsprings. Environment refers to all the factors except heredity affecting an organism starting from the moment of conception. Sex, nutrition, gland of internal secretion, position in the family, maturation and learning, physical defects and emotional factors are the specific factors affecting growth and development. Now, you can try to answer the given questions. What is meant by the term growth and development? What are the important differences between growth and development? What are the important characteristics of different stages in human development? What are the ways in which heredity and environment contribute to development? What are the important principles of human development? How does the awareness of growth and development help a teacher? How heredity and environment influence human development? What are the important aspects of development? Hope that you may go through the reference books for further reading. Child Growth and Development by Harlock E.B. and published by Tata McGraw-Hill Company, New York in the year 2004. Advanced Educational Psychology written by Chauhan S.S. and published by Vigas Publishing House, New Delhi in 2009. Handbook of Lifespan Development written by Fingerman K.L., Berg C.A., Smith J. and Andonshi T.C. as editors and published by Springer Publishing Company, New York in 2011. An Introduction to Child Development written by Keenan T. and Evans S. and published by Sage Publications, London in the year 2009. Theories of Human Development written by Newman B.M. and Newman P.R. and published by Lawrence Earlbaum Associates, New Jersey in 2010. Development through Life, a psychosocial approach written by Newman B. and Newman P. and published by Cengage Learning, Belmont, CA in 2011. We can meet again with another topic soon. Have a nice day.